Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Jewelers Academy podcast. I'm your host this week, Anna Campbell, and I am joined by Laura-Jayne. Laura is a jeweler based in rural Shropshire, working mainly with recycled precious metals, keeping eco-conscious, eco-friendly at the heart of her work. She uses textures and patina to create a very whimsical and folklore feel to her work, and her business is called Small Dog Silver. And she is also a tutor and a mentor with us on our diploma programs. And we're going to be talking today very specifically about the foundation in silver jewellery. So, welcome, Laura. Thank you for joining me.
Hi, Anna.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say a little bit about what the foundation of silver jewelry is for those who don't know about it. And then we're going to get into talking a bit more about what that actually is. So it is an in-depth online introductory course, a 5-week course that's all about taking your first steps in making silver jewelry from home. And we run this course around about, I think it's 4 times a year. Laura, you might know better than
Yeah,
me.
that feels about right. Yeah.
That's about right. And at the time of recording this, we've got intakes left for this year in September and November. And it's a really great lead in for those who are thinking about the diploma in silver jewelry and just want to kind of test the waters a little bit.
Mhm.
And Laura is the tutor on this course. So she's filmed all of the projects for this course. And she's also the mentor, which means that she is the person who is in the Facebook group answering the questions and doing the live Q&As and doing the one-to-one mentoring. So she's the perfect person to talk a little bit more about this course and who it's for. So welcome. I think I wanted to just start off with what you love about mentoring students on this foundation course specifically.
Oh, there's a lot of different reasons that I really love mentoring this course, but I think for me the biggest thing is just the really rewarding feeling of watching people's confidence grow through the 5 weeks. So from not even knowing how to pick up and hold a saw frame in week one through to making full pieces of jewelry that everybody is really happy about and they're really excited to be able to wear and show off to all their friends and family at the end. So yeah, it's that feeling of helping people to kind of find their confidence through the 5 weeks is really, really rewarding.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. I think that is such a great thing. It's one of the things I love about teaching beginners too, because it's like, oh, it's
Mhm.
the excitement of this new thing and this just being able to make things, I think, just generally, I feel it's such a human thing, and we've gone away from it so much. So I just love that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And if someone is completely new to jewelry making, what do they learn on this course? What are the kind of projects that they will do?
Well, we really have made sure that we're giving people the building blocks that they need to then be able to kind of jump off and do other things. So calling it a foundation diploma foundation course is absolutely the right thing to do. It covers the really kind of basic things, and obviously that's not to say that we're saying basic in a bad way here. It covers all of those things that you need to then be able to really, really kind of grow your skills. So we're covering things like saw piercing, which is a fairly fundamental skill for any jeweler who's working in metal. And then we cover forming metal. We cover soldering, which again is a really important one. And then we do a bit of stone setting as well. So it does cover all of those very basic aspects for you. And we include some filing and a little bit of polishing, but we're not going into any huge in depth in that because that in itself could be, a 5-week course, quite honestly. But yeah, I mean, at the end of it, everybody will have 5 pieces of jewelry that they can wear on a 5-week course, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, and I love that there's different things. So there's a couple of different rings that they learn to make.
Yeah.
As you said, there's like a stone set pendant. So there's a
Mhm.
few different types of jewelry as well.
Yeah.
And I really do love that cabochon setting that you did for this. It's a really lovely one.
Yeah, it's really fun. So yeah, as you said, we do two different types of ring. Then we'll do a pendant, some earrings, and the cabochon set pendant as well. So you've got two necklaces, two rings, and a pair of earrings that you'll learn across 5 weeks, which I think is really great. But the fact that you've got a wearable piece, but you've also learnt some skills is really fun. So instead of just kind of focusing on techniques and having a few practice pieces of copper maybe left at the end of it, you've got things that you can show off and you can be super proud of, which is lovely.
Yeah, I think that's true. And even though it's quite a short course, what kinds of transformations do you see in the students from the beginning to the end?
Well, like I said, I mean, I've seen people who are really kind of nervous around even picking up a saw frame right at the beginning. And then at the end, they've gone through, followed the videos, followed the questions and answers that we have every couple of weeks. And they're there making their own jewelry. So the transformation from being quite hesitant and a little bit nervous into just knowing that they can actually do this and then go off and start to do other things is great. So yeah. Um, and it's step by step. It's not We're not just sort of giving you a vague idea and then throwing you in to try and work it out for yourself. It's all step by step. We've got some lovely handouts as well, so everything's written. So because I know different people will learn better in different ways. So you've got the videos, you've got the notes that you can print out and you can have next to you if you need to and make notes on of your own. And then obviously we have the Q&A sessions, which really help. So if you've got any thoughts or if you've got any questions or if there's something that wasn't very clear on a video, you can come along and ask those questions. And then yeah, we offer the one-to-one, so everybody gets to have a chat with me and they can ask, you know, as many questions as they want in that time as well, which is really lovely.
Yes, I love that, and it's almost like a kind of little intro to the diploma, which is our 1 year
Absolutely.
course,
Yeah,
but it has similar. It's a similar vibe in a lot of
it
ways
is.
in terms of how it's set up. So yeah,
Yeah, it is a really, really great intro. So it's almost like a bit of an on ramp. So you'll find your feet a little bit, and then if you decide to go on to the silver diploma, which is the full 1 year, you already know the setup of it. You've already got that rhythm, and you know what the expectation of you will be almost. And that support structure just will carry on from the 5 week foundation all the way through all of the different diplomas.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm just going to kind of talk about some common concerns, maybe things people worry about before signing up for an online course. I mean, I don't know if you can remember back, but do you, you know, we, well, you, you professionally filmed this course with the film crew. What was that experience
Yeah.
like?
Well, it was fun. It was fun. It was really intense. Um, and in a way it was really good being almost for me in a bit of an unfamiliar situation because it kind of put me firmly back in the shoes of what our diploma students are going to be feeling, what our foundation students might be feeling, which is like, oh, I'm not sure if I can do this. But then actually just being able to get on and do it. Something that I always share with the foundation students is just how strange of a position I was having to be in to film some of the shots. And you can see me kind of leaning at the moment because it's that remembrance of having to be almost like off to the side of my bench pin where normally you'd have it positioned in front of you. Yeah, it was a great experience. Long days, not gonna lie, but
Yeah.
really, really rewarding. And I've even bravely watched like about 5 minutes of a video and then just gone, yeah, no, that's fine. And I'm never watching any of that now again.
God,
Just because,
so many
yeah,
people can relate to that feeling of
yeah,
Watch what's up on camera.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know. I mean, I know you filmed, a fair number of things now for Jewelers
Mm.
Academy now, but people maybe don't realize that yes, we do use a film crew that we've used the same crew for a decade, I think, nearly, certainly a very long
Wow.
time. And we're looking at, so when you're there, you don't realize that we've got amazingly bright lights.
Really
You've
hot
got
as
like
well.
two, yeah, you've got like two cameras. So
Yeah,
you've got different angles going on. You've got a sound person checking that your mic's okay. And so, there's a lot going on all at once. And it's like, don't block the camera with your hand as you're soaring, and all of that kind of stuff is going on. But really,
absolutely.
we want to make sure that it is as clear as it can possibly be. And in some ways, I think in all ways, actually, it is, you get a better view than you would if you were at a class.
Yeah, I think so, because you've got that kind of front and center view. You've basically got the best seat in the class when you're looking at it on a video. And as you said, if going to an in-person class, that's great, because you've kind of got that human interaction, and then you're bouncing off the people there. But sometimes it can be quite tricky to see the detail unless your instructor happens to have a video setup, which not everybody has that, or unless you can get uncomfortably close to them so that you can like be leaning right over, which if you're the only person there, that might be okay, but if there's a class of 5, 10, however many people, then it becomes a little bit awkward to always catch that detail. And I think if you're anything like me, you don't necessarily want to kind of stop everything, put your hand up to go, I didn't quite catch that. Can you do it again? 'Cause you don't want to slow everything down. Whereas because you've got the video, if you didn't quite catch something, you can just kind of skip back 10 seconds and watch it again. So yeah, I think there's massive benefits. And obviously you've got access to the videos for life as well. So you can 5 years down the line, if you suddenly go, "Oh, how did I do that?" You can just go back and have another look.
Yeah, I think that's such a big one. Because like you say, we've got that brilliant kind of real close up, closer than life thing. I mean, I know not on your course,
Absolutely.
but we've done pave setting where you've got these tiny stones,
Tiny.
being
Yeah.
being able to see, all of the detail, everything that's happening, and being able to kind of like rewind it, look at it again, watch it as many times as you want. Because sometimes you're in the class and you're like, oh no, they just said that and I've forgotten. You're like,
Yeah, instantly goes out of your head immediately because you're concentrating on the next thing. And even if you make
exactly.
notes, sometimes it's tricky to remember. So I was doing an in-person class. I was actually attending an in-person class a couple of weekends ago. And I looked yesterday at the notes that I'd taken, and I think I'd written about 4 things down. And I read them back and went, no idea what any of that was. So yeah, we'll just hope for the best. I mean, I've got a good handout, which is great, but yeah, it's trying to remember what that very cryptic, very fast note was actually referring to. So in this case, it would have been a good plan if I'd have recorded it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I've heard a few people talking about how they like to be able to do things at their own pace. Because when you've got it on the video, you can stop things, you can have a go,
Mhm.
you can go for a cup of tea, you can come back tomorrow. You can pace it yourself around what you're doing, your life, and you've got to go and, pick up the kids or whatever. So I think that's another good benefit of the online courses too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much designed to kind of fit in with the time that you might have to be able to dedicate to it. Whereas in-person classes, which are fantastic, obviously, you've got to know that I have got this full day to be able to commit to going and doing that and being able to block everything else out. Whereas this, with the foundation course, you can set aside like maybe half a day at a weekend to go through and see where you get to. And if you don't finish it, that's absolutely fine. You can do catch it up the next week, or you can even wait until we've finished the entire run of the course, and then you can kind of keep going and trying it then. So it's very much designed to fit in around you as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, brilliant. And I guess another thing that people sometimes worry about, especially for beginners, is like, how do I make sure I have the right tools and the right materials? Because
Mhm.
if I'm a beginner and you start saying you need a saw frame, you're like, what? What? It's like
Yeah,
it's like a different language sometimes, isn't it? So
it very much is. But yeah, we've 100% got everyone covered on that as well, because you can get a toolkit and a materials kit specifically for the foundation. So your tools kit covers your basic range of tools that you'll need to make the projects that we're showing you on the foundation course. And then also a materials pack. So you'll get enough silver, um, a couple of cabochons, some different bits of silver, so wire and sheet, and then I think in some practice copper pieces as well. So you've literally got that entire kit ready to go. So it turns up, you've got a checklist, you can see what it is. And then we run through how you set things up at the beginning of the foundation course as well. So if you've never picked up a jeweler's saw, don't worry, we've 100% got you covered on that, because I will show you how you put the blade into the saw, how you make sure that it's nice and tight, how you use the jeweler's saw, because it's a very different type of sawing to anything else you've probably done. And the same goes for things like your little hand torch, your blowtorch, which is normally the thing that people are most wary about, because it's fire, so it can be a bit scary. But yeah, we go through all of that, and then the really great thing about the toolkit is, because it's that kind of foundation based toolkit, if you decide at the end of the 5 weeks that you've loved it and you want to go on and do the full year silver diploma, you can get a top up toolkit for all of the extra things that you might need for the silver diploma. So you'll just get more things that arrive. So you'll have more new things to look at, which is always fun.
yeah. Yes, I think that's been a really great thing that our warehouse have been able to do, because
Yeah.
once you have got your first lot, you don't necessarily then want all the duplicates again, or you don't want to pay for the duplicates again. So you're
Yeah,
able to
definitely.
just get the top up, get the bits that you don't need. And if you have done maybe a little bit of jewelry making before, and you already have some tools, and you've got a bit of knowledge, there's a full list of what you need to get,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and you can just kind of pick into the things that you need to get.
Yeah,
But a lot of times when someone's a beginner, having just being able to just go, yeah, I'll just take the kit, that's fine. It's much easier.
absolutely. Because it's jewelry making is one of those things that I think there's so many different disciplines in it. It's great because you'll never get bored. You'll always find something new that you can do. But the slight downside to that is the vast array of different tools and things that are out there, which can be a little bit overwhelming, even if you're looking on some of like the really great suppliers websites. um there are lots of different types of files, for instance, and you can get a little bit lost in the weeds when you're trying to find something. So we've quite carefully curated a really great like capsule toolkit for you that will be your basic tools that you'll probably reach for every time you're doing something.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think, you know, we want to kind of just get rid of that overwhelm. So when it comes to the
Yes.
tools and the materials and the kind of very
Yeah.
step by step way you've taken them through all of the projects, I think that's brilliant, because that really helps when you're first starting out to really just focus on the thing you need to focus on right now.
Yes. Yeah.
definitely. I think one of the other things sometimes people worry about or wonder about, maybe not worry about, but wonder about is like how much space do I need to do all of this? Because I think if someone maybe doesn't have if someone has a spare room, then they maybe that's amazing. But if they don't, if they've just got a kitchen table, is that enough? Can you talk a little bit more about
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely. I think, like anything, that you will probably expand to fit whatever space you have available. And if you're anything like me, you will never be able to keep anything tidy, and that is absolutely okay. My workshop looks like organized chaos at all times, but I know where most things are. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, for sure, you don't need a great deal of space. Corner of a kitchen table will be enough. So the thing that we're using the most probably to start with is what's called a bench pin, which is basically a piece of wood that clamps onto your table, and then you rest your metal on that to saw it out to make the shapes with. um, and that's really small. It's probably the width of your hand. In fact, it's probably about the size of your hand. And then that just clamps onto your table, so you don't need much space at all. Then for soldering, what I used to do when I very first started out, and I was doing this in my kitchen, was to actually use the hob, so the kitchen hob to solder on.
Mhm.
So I'd put a solder board on top of my hob, and then you can stick the extractor fan on above your cooker, above your cooker top, and it's designed to withstand heat because it is a cooker, so it's okay. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, you need very little space. So there's kind of no huge workshop needed. You've not got massive machinery that you're going to need to get into using. So it is a very good hobby for a small space. And your
Mhm.
tools as well that you get with this will fit into a relatively small toolbox, so you don't need masses of storage space either.
Yeah, I think that's a key factor is that like if it is in your kitchen and you need to kind of put things out and then take them back and put them in a box somewhere, then that's absolutely fine. There's no issue with that, and you can definitely do that. So yeah. Hmm. Brilliant. Okay. Well, just one question about like what is your favorite technique from the course, and why do you particularly like it?
Oh, it's a tricky one. I mean, I like all of them, obviously, but I think for me, I really enjoy saw piercing. And you can get some fantastic results with basically one technique. So with saw piercing, that's going to cover you everything from literally just cutting a piece of metal in half to be able to form it into something else, right up to piercing out the most intricate patterns. And we go into this on the course where you can actually obviously saw on the outside of a shape, and then you can saw out the inside of a shape to make different patterns. So you can get some beautiful, beautiful pieces with not needing to use any heat, not needing to do any soldering. You can just pierce out the most beautiful floral patterns, or patterns from nature. Butterfly wings are fantastic to make in silver and things like that. So that, I think, is a really great base technique to learn. Not everybody enjoys it, because if everybody liked everything, it'd be a bit boring. Um, but it's a really great one to learn. And also, it helps to kind of really clear your mind out. So I often
Mhm.
use, if I'm doing some really complex saw piercing, it's almost a bit of a mindfulness moment as well, because you've got to concentrate on what you're doing. So you have to kind of quieten down everything else that might be going on in your brain, and you just concentrate on following the lines and making sure you're still breathing nicely, and going through that, and it just becomes quite a nice chilled out time. um
Mm.
can be frustrating when saw blades break, but it happens to everybody.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I think that I love about how, because I know you were really instrumental in developing this course and like the projects in this course, is that it really does go back to the fundamentals. You know, it is a foundation course, but it is that saw, file, solder. I mean, that's the foundation of any even very big intricate piece of jewelry. So,
Yeah,
you know, that's the fundamentals of what we need to learn, and this is this opportunity to dip the toe in the water and give it a try and see, is this for me, am I going to enjoy it? And I think that's what I love about it. And then we start to get a little bit of stone setting in. There's many different types of stone setting, but you get a little bit of
yeah,
color and a little bit of stone setting in as well. So yeah, it's such a great course for that, I think.
yeah. I mean, the stone setting bit's always the exciting week, I think, for a lot of people. Um, it's one of those ones that once you have worked out how you can secure a stone in a piece of metal, it just opens up so many more avenues. And as you said, there are so many different types of stone setting. But the cabochon one, I think, is probably one of the ones that people will recognize instantly. So that's where you've got those beautiful dome top gemstones set with just a rim of silver, and you'll see them on everything from rings to pendants to earrings. Um, so yeah, it's a perfect first stone setting to learn.
Yeah. And if if you're into jewelry, I'm sure you'll also be into buying gemstones, or you're
Yeah,
gonna get into it definitely, because that's kind of
absolutely.
the territory.
It really does. It really, and you'll never have enough. You will never have enough. And people who say that they can, not buy more gemstones are probably not being truthful with themselves.
Absolutely. Oh, no, so true. Okay. So this course also includes some personal feedback and support. So what does that look like in practice? And why do you think it's important for beginners on this course that they get that?
Yeah, so everybody has the opportunity to book a half-hour call with me. And it's really informal. Like, it's just literally just having a chat. So it's not scary. I think sometimes when you hear people saying yes, you will get feedback, it almost always makes you feel like something has not gone particularly to plan. Um, but yeah, it's just your opportunity, as a foundation student, to have half an hour to chat anything through that you want to, ask questions about the course. If anything hasn't quite sort of lodged in your brain, we can go through it in a different way. And also, sometimes we end up, having conversations about what next steps will be, and chatting around the silver diploma, or if people want to go off and explore other things, directing people to find other resources. So, obviously, Jewelers Academy, we've got some fantastic online courses that are available to people, so it's always nice to be able to kind of pick one of those to signpost people to. But yeah, it's really just your chance to ask any questions that you've got, and yeah, drag all that information out of my brain.
Yeah, I think so. This is a little bit different from the diploma, where with the diploma you
Yeah.
actually send your work in for assessment and you get it
Mhm.
marked, and it's not that formal, but you can just show Laura on the screen. You can hand it up
Absolutely.
to the camera,
Yeah.
um, or it's just that opportunity, I think, to have that chat and just,
Mhm.
maybe something was a bit more challenging and you just need to talk it through and just get some, you know, just some support. That's all that it's for, really. Yeah, like you said, pick your brains about whatever jewelry related that you might want to in that time. So I think it's a great opportunity.
Yeah. And throughout the entirety of the foundation, so for the 5 weeks that we're running the foundation, and then also for a few weeks afterwards, we've got the Facebook group. So that's a private Facebook group. So it's just going to be people that are on the same foundation courses as you are. So we have one of those set up for each of the times that we run the foundation, which is great. So you're all kind of starting from the same position and you're all going to be following through, and you're probably all going to have the same kind of questions. So you can pop questions into there, post pictures of your progress, because I always like to see what people are making. And we also have a group call every 2 weeks. So it works out that we end up having our kind of final group call the week after the course ends, because we have 3 calls and there's only 5 weeks. But that's an hour-long call every 2 weeks where, again, you can come in and you can ask questions and you can, have a chat with the rest of the cohort, and it's great. So that's always quite fun. So it's, at that point, it almost is feeling a bit like a hybrid online and virtual in-person course, because you've got that contact with the other students as well, which is always lovely.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good part of it, actually, isn't it? To get to know other people in the course, and just find out where they're at and what they're doing, and be inspired, I think, by talking to other
Yeah,
people. It's always inspiring.
yeah.
Fabulous. Okay, so what advice would you give to someone who's maybe been sitting on the fence about joining the course and maybe thinks that they're not creative enough, or they're sitting on the fence? What are your thoughts?
I mean, honestly, I would just say go for it, because the worst that's going to happen is that you're going to decide that you just didn't enjoy it. But I don't think I've had anybody yet that hasn't really enjoyed it. So, all right, if you can hear yipping, it's because small dog is actually just in the middle of having a dream for some reason. So yeah, I mean, it's really friendly. It's really laid back. It might look a little bit intensive from the outset if you just kind of look through and think, oh crikey, we're going to be making so many things over such a short period of time. But honestly, it's been designed from the ground up to support somebody who's never done any kind of jewelry making before at all. Creativity can come from anywhere as well. You don't need to be a traditional artist. You don't need to be able to draw brilliantly. I'm really, really poor at drawing, to be honest. It's my worst nightmare when a prospective client will say, can you just do me a drawing of what that might look like? Oh, I'd rather not, but I'll have a go. So you don't need to have you don't need to have anything like that. Even though we do a saw pierced pendant that comes out with specific design on it, we're providing you with templates that you can use to make those if you don't want to have to design something yourself. Yeah, I think my advice would be just go for it, and I think you'll be surprised by how much you do enjoy it.
I think that's true. I think if you're attracted to jewelry making, this is a 5-week course, and it just is like, give it, like you say, give it a go, give it a try.
Give it a go.
Um, because if you've been wondering about it for a while, then you've got to try it, or you'll never know whether it is the right thing for you. Um, but thank you so much, Laura. We're going to be putting the links to the foundation course, so you can find out more in the show notes. And as I said, there's a next intake is in September, and then there's another one in November this year too. But where can people find out more about you, Laura? What about, where is your Instagram? What's your website?
Yeah, so I think I'm probably most active on Instagram, and I am Small Dog Silver on Instagram, and my website is smalldogsilver.co.uk. And for anyone wondering, it's called Small Dog Silver because I have a small dog, and anybody out there who has a small dog knows that they immediately own everything. So it seemed only fitting that my business was named after him.
Yeah, absolutely. Makes perfect sense. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Laura. And thank you for listening to this episode of the Jewelers Academy podcast. And we will see you again next week.